YB stays on your neck.
It's on my neck.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So obviously, your boy the YB on Friday before the fight on Saturday exposed exclusively, proprietarily, revealed the leaked purses for Wilder versus Old Tease 2. And those figures were the following. $3 million guaranteed for Beyonce Wilder and $1.5 million for Louise OLDTIZ, Old Tease. Yeah, that's what it was. And that's not no iffy. That there, the great thing about Nevada State Athletic Commission is they publish all the figures. Yeah, particularly so to the YB. The YB gets the figures and posts them up for his dons. That's what we do know. Yeah, there ain't no speculation. There ain't no this other goofy stuff. That's what they're getting paid. Simple. Oh, well, actually, it's more like 20 million. Well, if it's 20 million, why don't they put it on the paper then? Because what we do know is, when AJ gets paid by DAZN, he gets paid $30 million. There ain't no, oh, well, it's 2 million, but if you, it's actually 30, no. $32 million and he gets paid $32 million. Why is it all the time, whenever we talk about AJ's earnings, we know DAZN pay 32 million. AJ gets paid 32 million. But with Wilder, it's always, oh, well, it says officially that the athletic commission who commissioned the bout says it's 3 million, but you want me to believe it's actually 20. Well, where's that? Why don't they put 20 on the paper like AJ puts 30 on the paper? Someone please explain it to me. I don't understand. Why is it all the time, when it's AJ figures, we get clean figures? There ain't no, oh yeah, that's what the commission knows, but I heard some goofy stuff. Yeah, man, well, Al Heyman, he doesn't like to pay taxes. He's got smart accountants. No, it's nothing to do with that. Al Heyman will find his ass Wesley sniped in jail about they don't do that goofy stuff. Real businesses don't do that goofy stuff. Yeah, we're talking about, this is a public entity. Do you not think the IRS wouldn't clock onto that? Oh, wait there a minute. No, they're putting lower numbers. No, that's what they're getting paid. Simple as that. There ain't no, oh man, yeah man, Al Heyman too smart. You always hear the LDB say, you always hear the LDBC say, oh man, actually, I don't want to talk about that, as if they're hiding something. Yeah, there ain't no back stuff. There ain't no back stuff going on. They get paid free, and that's it. About, oh man, he got the back end. He got the back end. And the funny thing is, in a minute, we're going to expose the back end numbers anyway. But what gets me is, oh man, it's on the back end. And when you actually break down the back end numbers, even when you work them out, it still don't add up. And that's what, in fact, let me just do that now quickly. So, let's assume, forget what I've just said there in the first few minutes. Let's assume then that it's not actually 3 million. Let's assume it is 20. And the worst thing is, to be honest, it's not even the LDBC posting these rumours now. You've even got ESPN here talking pure rubbish. Check this out. So, as you see on your screen now, per the Nevada State Athletic Commission, here are the official contract purses for Saturday night's PBC Fox pay-per-view card in Las Vegas. Deontay Wilder, $3 million. Here we go, check this next part. But his guarantee is really about 20 million. Where'd you get that from then? Why not call it 100 million? I just don't get it. If it's really 20, why in it? If his guarantee is posted up as free, how is it publicly known as 20? Why don't they put 20 on the paper? Someone explain. I just don't get it at all. I just don't get it whatsoever. Oh, don't tell me. Ortiz is really 1.5, but it's really 7. Explain the maths there to me. Anyway, I'm glad you asked about the maths. So now let me expose the LDBC and all these goofy other operations, like ESPN. Let me expose them one time. Here we go. So, let's do a bit of maths here, shall we? What is the maths YB? I'm glad you asked, whoever that was who asked that question. You, sir. Great question. Here we go. So, this pay-per-view, Wilder vs. Ortiz, was billed at $75. That's what we do know. Now, what do we know about other pay-per-views? Well, Wilder's only ever had one other pay-per-view. That was Wilder vs. Fury. Now, Wilder vs. Fury, I believe, was $80. Let's say that sold 300,000 pay-per-views. Yeah? What is $80 times by 300,000? That there is $24 million. Yeah? $24 million. But so bear that in mind. And that was Fury versus Wilder. I'm going to bet that Wilder versus Ortiz don't do anywhere near 300. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say, you know what? You made that. They did. Let's say Wilder versus Ortiz, by some magical force. Let's say, for argument's sake, that the LDBC actually come out of the internet and started actually coming to his event and buying his pay-per-view. Let's say it did 300,000. So Wilder vs Ortiz 2 generates $24 million. The same as, and even then, he'd have to do more because it's 75. But anyway, let's just say Wilder vs Ortiz generates the same as Wilder vs Fury, aka $24 million. Yeah? That's the total amount they've got, $24 million. Now let's look at this. So you're telling me the total revenue is 24. You know what? Let's throw in some gate. Wilder vs Ortiz gate. Put it this way. I think what was Wilder versus Fury was like $2 or $3 million. Let's call it $3 million. Yeah. So Wilder versus Fury, $3 million gate. Let's say Wilder versus Ortiz is also a $3 million gate. So a $3 million gate on top of the $24 million for the pay-per-view. That there is $27 million. Yeah? $27 million. But yet you want me to believe, so of the total revenue, Wilder versus Ortiz generates $27 million. Yeah? And how much alone is Wilder and Ortiz's salary? $27 million. What? How does that work then? Because you haven't even, if you look at the rest of this paper here, there's people like Leo Santa Cruz, who's allegedly on another 2 and 2 million, and you've got all these other people who are on another 2 or 3 million between themselves. So explain that to me, please. I don't get it. How can Wilder and the two headliners be earning more than the whole damn event generates? And that's by the way being very, very generous. That's on the basis that Wilder vs Ortiz sells 320,000 pay-per-views. In reality, it's going to sell best part of absolute max 200,000. So if it sells 200,000 at $75, that's $15 million, is it? Yes, it's $15 million. So 200,000 pay-per-views at $75, that's 15 million. So you're telling me Wilder vs Ortiz getting paid 27, almost double. Explain the maths there. Oh, don't tell me. Well, man, Al Heyman sells a lot of basketball tickets. He sells a lot of commissary. Yeah, man, Al Heyman, but YB, you haven't added up the car parking tickets. You haven't added up the commissary. Oh yeah, YB, it's all in the, you forgot about the Latin tickets. Yeah, all this goofy stuff they start coming in with. And even the worst thing is, even if you add that goofy stuff in, it still don't add up. So someone come explain to me, ESPN explain to me where this 27's coming from. Because the maths literally does not add up. And by the way, how it actually works is, so I've just sat there and explained to you about the broad numbers, i.e. Wilder's salary and the overall gate, or the overall revenue. The overall revenue is going to be less than $30 million, simple as that. But that main figure, half of that is taken by the network, meaning that Fox take half off the top. Yeah, the network takes half off the top. So, as an example, Wilder versus Fury generates $24 million. They take 12 off the top cleanly. There's no messing about. That's what they do. So when people get these figures, let's say Wilder Ortiz does as well as Fury. I'm sitting here comparing 24. It's not even 24. In reality, it's only 12 because the network takes half. So we're dealing with a pot of 12, and that's being generous. In reality, it's more like a pot of 7 because, as I said, 200,000 pay-per-views times by $75 is $15 million. Half that because the network takes half, and that's, you can look at this stats I've checked out a few months ago when we were talking about it before. Networks take half, and then you've got other cuts like promoters and or managers and crap like that. But anyway, I guess that would come out of Wilder's and Ortiz's purse anyway. But listen, you've got other people like the MGM Grand, they need paying. Sorry, not whoever puts it on they need paying. Everyone needs paying out of that as well. And you're trying to tell me that Wilder and Ortiz alone, never mind everyone else, never mind the network who takes half, never mind the MGM Grand, never mind everyone else, never mind all the other fighters who need to be paid. You're telling me that them two make more than the total revenue of the whole show. How? It's nonsensical. These people are nonsensical. oh man, and the funny thing is when you actually look at these figures of 3 million and 1 million, that actually makes perfect sense in as much as, let's say Wilder Ortiz does $50 million of pay-per-view sales, or 200,000 pay-per-views. That's 15 million. The network takes 7 off the top, that leaves 8, and then what we got here? So you've got 8 million total. Wilder and Ortiz, they take 4.5 off. See what I mean? You've got 3.5 left then to pay the rest of the fighters and all the other goofy bits in there. It actually adds up when you, and this is what I don't get. All the time, when it comes to Wilder, we always have to believe that they have to do some magical maths. It never can just make sense. And as I mentioned, always though, when you look at the actual guaranteed numbers, whenever you do work the maths out, the guaranteed numbers always fit in perfectly. It never doesn't make sense with the guaranteed numbers. The minute you start talking about, oh, but his guarantee's really 20, and what Ortiz's guarantee's really 7. Where are you getting these numbers from? It just never made any sense to me. And it's frustrating now. All the time, we have to believe it. Oh, yeah, man, you have to believe it. Where, on the other hand, though, you've got AJ, for example, who sells 1.6 million pay-per-views, and his numbers, you never let's say AJ sold, AJ versus Klitschko sold 1.7, or was it 1.8 million pay-per-views at 20 quid. That there's $38 million. We never have to, I think AJ made like 15 or 20, something like that. We never have to believe that AJ got paid more than a whole damn lot put together. It's always a big stretch, and it's frustrating because where's your source? ESPN, the funny thing is, well, the worst thing is, not funny, is that ESPN puts this stuff out there. Where are they getting it from? If you're going to go against what the official commission is stating, because that for me is always, that makes sense to me. If the official commission's stating it, because bearing in mind, the commission, they take a percentage of the amount that, or they take a cut out of fighters' purses. That's why the commission know about it. So, why wouldn't the commission take their percentage out of the bigger lot? Or are you trying to tell me that they're happy to get mugged off? Absolutely not. They take a cut, and they actually hold the money, I believe. I'm pretty sure when a promoter puts a show on, the promoter has to pay the commission, I'm pretty sure, and the commission holds it. And then, because remember when Khabib and Conor McGregor got into that fight, and the commission said to Khabib, we're not going to pay your money and this, that, the other until you do the community service. And Khabib said, keep the money, I'm not interested, as an example. That goes to show. So wait there a minute, you don't want to tell me the commission are holding the money, but they're happy to get shafted. Nah, don't make no sense, man. And like I said anyway, when you do the maths, it don't make no sense. It's not even a bit close. And it's always this propaganda. I'm pretty sure the PBC would have picked the phone up, they would have seen how low the numbers are, and they'd have picked the phone up and said, yeah, man, ESPN, well, actually, even though the official commission figures are that, even though the amount the commission are holding is that, actually, it's really about 10 times higher. 3 million to 20 million. What planet are you on? Come on, let's be serious now. As an example, let's say the guarantee was 3 with the commission, $3 million, and they said it was really 5. I still wouldn't believe you, but you know what? If you want to play around a bit, fine, but come on, man, let's talk turkey. The guarantee is 3, but really it's 20. Wow. And as an example, Wilder versus Fury, the public guarantees were 4 million for Wilder and 3 million for Tyson Fury, yeah? So that fight's bigger than the Ortiz fight. How is it Wilder only gets guaranteed 4 million for Fury, but it's 5 times higher for Ortiz? What planet are you on? And they always what they're doing is they're always trying to compete with, or publicly, not realistically compete, because they get blown out of the water, but they're always trying to compete with DAZN, not to look as bad, because they know DAZN's mugging them off in the numbers department. Eddie Hearn, DAZN, they mugged off Ellaby, listen, that dude's nose, he breathes for everyone on earth. But like I said, Eddie Hearn and Tevin Farmer mugged off Gervonta Davis, mugged off their main don, mugged off Ellaby. Because their pockets ain't long, yeah? Eddie Hearn came to the US, shut it down, offering big money, long money, and they don't like it, and their pride's hurt. So instead of taking the L and admitting we're broke, admitting Al Gaiman spuffed $400 million up the wall and got nothing to show for it, they'd rather start oh man, well actually, it's really about 20 times harder than that. You might as well come out and start talking about how Wilder's getting paid $400 million. Might as well, seriously. If you're gonna times $3 million by 7 anyway, you might as well times it by 30 or something. Why not? Since we're having a great time, you might as well start talking about how Wilder's the most highest paid athlete in history. Because none of it makes any sense at all. Anyway, I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think. And like I said before, anyone who comes in here, and to be fair, the LDBC don't even come around no more because they've been deaded off. If you notice in the comments, you don't see no LDBC man anymore. It's just a few UK dons who are straggling. There's a few UK haters who are still straggling along, but their man they're deaded. They can't come financially, or what's the word? Numerically speaking, they don't come around no more because they get slayed. The first and the last time the LDBC came round to the YB, it was when they were saying the whole, oh man, well actually, you haven't accounted the commissary, YB. Oh, YB, well actually, YB, you haven't accounted for car parking tickets, YB. Oh, YB, that's the goofiest stuff they was doing, madness. Anyway, before I go, as always, got to say a big shout out to my dog Lee Pike for coming through in the Patreon. Anyone who wants to support the YB and observe new proprietary exclusive content, go to patreon.com/the YB. Big ups.